What happens when betrayal, heartbreak, and silence meet forgiveness? What if the friendship that once defined an era of sisterhood ends in scandal, only to be reborn 5 years later? Tonight, we revisit one of the most shocking moments in pop culture history, Kylie Jenner and Jordyn Woods' reunion. 5 years after the cheating scandal that tore apart not just the best friends, but the entire Kardashian-Jenner circle. Sound of camera flashes, paparazzi shouting in the distance. The world remembers that fateful week in early 2019 when headlines screamed about Tristan Thompson, Khloe Kardashian's then partner, accused of being unfaithful. Again, but this time it wasn't just any woman. It was Jordyn Woods, Kylie Jenner's best friend, her other half, her confidant since childhood. The betrayal rippled through the internet like wildfire, sparking debates, outrage, and heartbreak across millions of fans who had watched their friendship blossom in front of the world. For 5 years, silence filled the gap where laughter once lived. Kylie moved on, building her empire with new ventures, raising her 2 children, and navigating her ever-evolving place in the Kardashian dynasty. Jordyn, on the other hand, walked a different path, one of redemption, self-discovery, and rebuilding her name after being cast out of the world she once called home. But then, in 2024, whispers began to surface. A private dinner, mutual friends, a quiet message exchanged after years of distance. It started as something small, yet for Kylie and Jordyn, it was the beginning of something profound, a chance to rewrite the story that the world had written for them. Camera pans over Los Angeles nightlife, glowing lights, flashing lenses, the sound of luxury cars. It was a warm evening in Beverly Hills. The city hummed with its usual energy. But something in the air felt different, almost poetic. Inside a discreet, candlelit restaurant, tucked away from the chaos, 2 women sat across from each other. Kylie Jenner, the billionaire beauty mogul, and Jordyn Woods, the woman who once called her soul sister. Narrator. Sources close to the pair revealed that the reunion was both emotional and surreal. After 5 years of no contact, the moment was filled with quiet reflection, not the loud confrontation tabloids had long imagined. There were no accusations, no cameras, just 2 women staring at each other across the table. Realizing how much time had slipped away, soft piano notes play for Kylie. She had seen her family torn by the consequences of fame, scandal, and betrayal countless times. For Jordyn, it was about closure, understanding that the girl she lost was never truly gone, just buried beneath layers of pain and public judgment. As the dinner went on, the conversation reportedly turned raw. They spoke about the 2019 incident, the kiss at Tristan Thompson's house, the night that changed everything. Jordyn explained, as she had years ago, that it was a mistake, not an affair, not a calculated move, but a moment of poor judgment blown into a global controversy. Kylie, listening intently, didn't interrupt. The years had softened her, maturity replacing the hurt that once consumed her. The air between them shifted from tension to empathy. Narrator slower, emotional tone in that moment. To women who had once shared secrets, dreams, and laughter remembered who they were before fame got in the way. Before the cameras, the money, the drama, just Kylie and Jordyn, 2 girls from Calabasas, trying to find their way. When the news broke the next morning, Kylie Jenner and Jordyn Woods reunite 5 years after cheating scandal, the internet erupted once again. Photos of the 2 leaving the restaurant, smiling softly, flooded every social media feed. Some fans celebrated, calling it the reunion we all needed. Others questioned whether forgiveness was possible after such betrayal. But for Kylie and Jordyn, it wasn't about public approval. It was about peace. Clips roll of fans reacting online, social media posts flashing across the screen. The narrative that followed wasn't about revenge or resentment. It was about growth. Jordyn, who had since built her own brand and established independence outside of the Kardashian shadow, stood taller, more confident. Kylie, meanwhile, had learned that holding on to old wounds only limits one's heart in private. Sources say the conversation continued well beyond that first dinner. Kylie invited Jordyn to her home, the same mansion where they had filmed countless YouTube videos together, where they once shared makeup tutorials and late-night talks about their dreams. This time, it wasn't for content, it was for closure. Sound of gentle laughter, clinking glasses, flashbacks of the 2 from earlier years. Narrator inside those walls. Surrounded by memories of their sisterhood, they finally allowed themselves to cry. Years of misunderstanding melted away as they spoke about what the scandal had taught them about trust, fame, and the fragility of relationships under the public eye. Both women had grown into different versions of themselves. Kylie, a mother and entrepreneur, saw the world differently. Jordyn, an advocate for self-love and mental health, had learned resilience through the fire of public humiliation. Narrator, firm. Resonant tone. It's rare in Hollywood, where betrayal often becomes a lifelong headline to see a friendship resurrected from ashes. But this wasn't about PR. It wasn't a stunt. It was something deeper. A human moment. A moment that reminded the world that forgiveness doesn't erase the past. It simply allows the future to exist. Over the following weeks, the two began appearing together quietly at dinner here, a low-key gathering there. Fans noticed subtle clues on social media, similar backgrounds, shared friends, familiar laughter. Then came the confirmation. A photograph posted by Kylie herself. The caption was simple, almost poetic. Full circle. That single phrase broke the internet. Comments flooded in by the millions. Some were supportive, others skeptical. But the sentiment was undeniable. People were witnessing not just a friendship rekindled, but a story of redemption, grace, and maturity. Narrator: 5 years after the cheating scandal that divided their world, Kylie Jenner and Jordyn Woods found their way back to each other, proving that time, growth, and empathy can mend even the deepest wounds. Still, questions linger. Can trust truly be rebuilt? Can a friendship survive once it's been shattered on the global stage? Those who know them best say yes. They describe Kylie and Jordyn now as stronger, wiser, and more private. Their friendship, once fueled by fame, now thrives in silence, away from the cameras, away from the noise. Pause. A beat of silence in a culture obsessed with cancellation and betrayal. Their story stands as a rare reminder that people change, and sometimes forgiveness is the loudest form of love. As the documentary draws to a close, the scene fades to a quiet clip. Two women sitting in a private backyard, laughing softly, sipping tea, their silhouettes glowing against the California sunset. No drama, no scandal, just peace. Narrator: final monologue. It began as one of the most publicized betrayals in pop culture, the Kylie Jenner and Jordyn Woods cheating scandal. But 5 years later, it ends not in bitterness, but in understanding. For Kylie, it was about reclaiming a lost piece of herself, the friend who knew her before the fame, before the billion-dollar empire. It was about redemption, proving that mistakes don't define you, growth does. They reminded the world that healing isn't a headline, it's a journey. Slow, fade-out music, hopeful, cinematic. The screen dims, leaving one final message in white text against a black background. Sometimes, the hardest goodbyes lead to the most powerful reunions.